What if I told you that one single night, just 90 minutes, didn't just decide a football match, but quietly altered the relationship between two of the most electrifying talents the sport has ever seen? What if I told you that beneath the smiles, the respect, and the public compliments, there was a moment when admiration turned into silent tension? Because football isn't just about goals and trophies. It's about pride, it's about legacy, and sometimes, it's about realizing that the world is moving forward, with or without you. This is the story of the 90 minutes that strained the Ronaldo-Ronaldinho brotherhood. In the mid-2000s, Ronaldinho wasn't just a footballer, he was a movement. At Barcelona, he played with a freedom that made the sport look effortless. His elastic dribbles bent physics. His no-look passes embarrassed defenders. His smile made the game feel joyful again. When he lifted the Ballon d'Or in 2005, it didn't feel like an award, it felt like confirmation of what the world already knew. He was the face of football. Stadiums filled because of him. Children copied his free kicks in schoolyards. Even rivals applauded his brilliance. He wasn't just dominating, he was enchanting. Meanwhile, in England, Cristiano Ronaldo was building something very different. At Manchester United, he was evolving from a flashy winger into a relentless competitor. Early in his career, critics accused him of diving, overdoing stepovers, lacking end product. But behind the scenes, Ronaldo was obsessed. He stayed after training, he refined his body, he transformed from skinny teenager to physical specimen. He studied defenders, he practiced finishing until it became instinct. He didn't just want to entertain, he wanted to conquer. At first, there was no rivalry between them. In fact, there was admiration. Ronaldinho publicly praised Ronaldo's potential. Ronaldo respected Ronaldinho's artistry. They were different expressions of greatness, one born from rhythm and flair, the other from discipline and drive. When they met on international stages or European nights, it felt like a celebration of football's diversity. But greatness has gravity, and when two stars orbit the same sky, eventually their paths collide. The tension didn't explode overnight. It built slowly, quietly, season by season. By 2007, Ronaldinho's aura was still powerful, but cracks were forming. Injuries, questions about fitness, the emergence of a young Lionel Messi at Barcelona. The team dynamic shifting, the magic was still there, but it flickered instead of blazed. Meanwhile, Ronaldo's light was intensifying. In the 2007-08 season, he became unstoppable. Goals poured in. He wasn't just assisting or dazzling, he was deciding matches. 42 goals in all competitions. Premier League title secured. Champions League run gathering steam. Suddenly, the debate began to change. Was Ronaldo now the best player in the world? And then came the semi-final. Manchester United versus Barcelona. Two giants, two philosophies, two superstars symbolizing two eras. The first leg at Camp Nou ended 0-0. Tight, tactical, nervous. Ronaldo missed an early penalty, a rare moment of vulnerability. Ronaldinho wasn't at his peak, but his presence still carried weight. The world anticipated the second leg at Old Trafford. 90 minutes that would define more than just a finalist. Old Trafford under the lights is something special. The crowd hums with belief. That night, it felt heavier, like history was leaning in. In the 14th minute, Ronaldo struck. A powerful effort from distance that deflected past the goalkeeper and into the net. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't poetic, it was ruthless. The stadium erupted. United players swarmed him. Barcelona were stunned. From that moment, the tone changed. Ronaldo didn't just score, he dominated physically. He pressed defenders, tracked back, attacked aerial balls with authority. He looked stronger, faster, hungrier. Ronaldinho, on the other hand, looked like a man fighting the tide of change. He tried to weave through defenders, but United's intensity swallowed space. The match ended 1-0. United advanced to the final. But it wasn't just about the scoreboard. It was about symbolism. That 90 minutes felt like a coronation in disguise. Weeks later, Ronaldo lifted the Champions League trophy in Moscow and went on to win his first Ballon d'Or. The crown had shifted, not by declaration, not by rivalry speeches, but by performance. So why call it strained brotherhood? Because admiration becomes complicated when the student surpasses the master. Ronaldinho had been the standard. Ronaldo had watched, learned, admired. But now the narrative flipped. Headlines spoke of Ronaldo as the new king. Sponsors chased him. Debates centered around him. The football world's spotlight moved decisively. There was no public feud. No heated interviews. But footballers are human. Pride exists. Legacy matters. Imagine being the artist who redefined the game, only to see the world fall in love with a new prototype. Not one built on samba rhythm, but on calculated perfection. That realization doesn't breed hatred, it breeds tension. After that season, their trajectories diverged sharply. Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid for a record transfer fee. In Spain, he became a goal machine, shattering records year after year. He transformed into a forward obsessed with efficiency. Headers, free kicks, long-range strikes, he mastered them all. His body became his weapon. His mentality his shield. He won more Ballon d'Or trophies. More Champions League titles. His longevity defied expectation. Ronaldinho, meanwhile, saw his European peak fade. He left Barcelona. Moments of brilliance still appeared, flashes of the old magic, but the era had ended. His legacy remained secure, the magician who made football beautiful. Yet the modern game was evolving. Defensive systems grew tighter. Athletic demands intensified. Ronaldo's approach, scientific, relentless, fit perfectly. The Brotherhood wasn't destroyed. Years later, Ronaldinho congratulated Ronaldo on his achievements. He acknowledged his greatness. That's what legends do. But something changed after those 90 minutes. The dynamic shifted from admiration of potential to recognition of supremacy. What makes this story powerful is the contrast in philosophy. Ronaldinho represented freedom, expression, joy. Ronaldo represented obsession, precision, ambition. When their paths crossed at Old Trafford, it wasn't just a football match, it was a collision of ideologies. And here's the deeper truth. Football doesn't wait. It evolves. One generation dazzles. The next refines. Ronaldinho inspired a wave of creativity. Ronaldo inspired a wave of professionalism. Young players began copying not just tricks, but training routines. Diet plans. Gym sessions. The blueprint of greatness changed. Those 90 minutes symbolized that shift. A magician fading. A machine rising. It didn't erase Ronaldinho's brilliance. It didn't diminish his impact. But it marked a turning point. The night the balance tilted. Imagine sitting in that dressing room afterward. Ronaldo surrounded by celebration. Ronaldinho facing quiet reflection. No words needed. The scoreboard spoke loudly enough. Football's narrative had moved forward. Yet the beauty of this story lies in respect. There was no bitterness in public. No dramatic fallout. Just two icons whose careers intersected at a pivotal moment. One ascending, one transitioning, both forever linked. Fans love to exaggerate rivalry. 2. Imagine tension boiling over. But sometimes the most powerful stories are silent. The strain wasn't explosive, it was subtle. The understanding that eras don't overlap forever. Looking back now, it feels inevitable. Ronaldo's discipline would carry him further. Ronaldinho's style, though magical, was harder to sustain in an increasingly demanding game. But in 2008, it wasn't obvious. It unfolded in real time, under floodlights, in front of millions. And that's why those 90 minutes matter. Because they captured football in transition. They showed that greatness isn't static. It passes hands. It reshapes itself. The Ronaldo-Ronaldinho brotherhood wasn't broken by anger. It was tested by evolution. And evolution always wins. When historians look back, they won't see hatred. They'll see symbolism. The night one legend acknowledged, perhaps silently, that another had arrived to rule. Football moved on. Ronaldo's reign expanded across continents and competitions. Ronaldinho's legend settled into nostalgia, replayed endlessly in highlight reels that still draw gasps. But for those who watched that semi-final live, who felt the tension in the air at Old Trafford, who saw Ronaldo's celebration and sensed the shift, they know. Something changed that night. Not friendship, not respect, power. And in football, power defines eras.